Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to cover AWS security group. Now what it is? Security groups are actually virtual firewalls for AWS resources, any resources. So for example, EC2 instance. And what is firewall? Just consider it as a guard, securing your boundaries of your apartment or something, right? Likewise, we have guards, they protect us. Similar to that, security groups protect instances resources. Okay, it controls inbound and outbound traffic. What does that mean? Inbound traffic is, for example, we have this EC2 instance where we have web server deployed or any application is running, and we have security group sitting here. Let me just on the pen, and the security group is sitting here protecting this instance, right, as a guard. Inbound traffic is if there is, and this is our internet, any request coming to our EC2 instance, our web server. So for example, I'm hitting any website URL on my from my laptop, right, from the browser. So that request is coming, that is called, the request is coming to server, inbound traffic, that is called inbound traffic. Now the server will do that calculation, etc., that computation will happen and will serve some response. That response is going from the server to the internet back, that is called outbound traffic. So security group, what it does, it controls the inbound and outbound traffic. So it checks if this request which is coming from internet is actually should go to this instance or not. If not, then of course the timeout will happen, or the response which what is generated, it should go outside or not. So that it controls. Security group allow to specify rules to permit traffic based on IP protocol, port number, and source destination IP addresses. We'll see that in demo, that how we'll create the security group, and all these rules while create the security group rules. How can we set, how can we configure it for IP addresses, for specific protocol, port number, etc. That we will see. And security groups are stateful. What does that mean? So for example, if an incoming request is coming from an IP address, and for that IP address we have allowed to access that instance, the response is also automatically allowed until unless regardless of the outbound rules. So it is kind of not sure if you have watched Mahabharat, that the one person has entered, Abhimanyu has entered inside Chakravyuh, but it's not, he was not aware how to go outside. So that was that is not stateful. The stateful is if incoming request is coming and it is allowed, the response is automatically allowed regardless of outbound rules. Okay, multiple rules for both inbound and outbound traffic can be defined, and that makes sense also, right? So I can define multiple rules for various port, various protocol, etc., for different IP address, CIDR range, etc. I can define that. Multiple security groups can be attached to an instance. That is also does make sense, right? The rules from all associated security groups are evaluated to determine whether traffic is allowed or not. So for example, to an instance, we have attached multiple security groups. Now in one security group, we have allowed few of the entries on basis of IP ranges or the port, etc. And that instance is also attached to another security group where it is denied. So that evaluation will happen. And then on basis of that evaluation, whether traffic should be allowed or not, that will be decided. So we need to make sure if we are creating so many security rules, it might create confusion also. If the rules in a security group are updated, it means I have a security group and the security group contain rules, what is allowed, what is not allowed, and that security group is attached to multiple instances. So, and if I'm updating any rule to that security group, it means those rules, the changes will be applied immediately to all instances without any delay. And of course that's a security issue, right? If it take some time, then it's a problem. So it is immediate change. Security group only support allow. This is nice thing to remember for the exam if you are going for certification. Security group only support allow rules. So how do we deny? So there is no explicit deny. It means if traffic is not allowed, then it's implicit that it is denied. So only allow. It's a good guy. I mean, good guy. How do they operate? They always welcome people. So if you are not welcomed, it means you are not allowed. This is how it is working. Okay. Specific port range. For example, 80 is for HTTP, 22 for SSH, or ranges like this can be defined. So that is also doable. I mean, we can specify a particular port or a range. Another security group as a source or destination in rules can be referenced, and that's a good feature. So for example, I have a security group. I can reference this security group for inbound or outbound as a source or destination. So that is possible. Each security group can have up to 60 inbound and 60 outbound rules by default. So this is the maximum limit, but however, we can increase this limit. We need to ask AWS for it. Same goes for security, up to 5 security groups with an instance can be associated. Increasing this limit is also requires AWS support. But it is a good practice, I mean, to minimize the number of security groups, otherwise it will create more confusion. Amazon CloudWatch can be used to monitor and set alarms. Okay, we'll discuss in another video that what is CloudWatch, how can we use it for different monitoring perspective. But yeah, just to nice to know this, that there is another service, CloudWatch, which can be used for monitoring and setting alarm. Ingress, we also use this term for inbound. Egress, we also use it for outbound rules. Ingress are rules controlling incoming traffic to your instance. Yes, we know about it now. And egress rules control outgoing traffic from your instance. By default, all outbound traffic is allowed. This is also nice to know about for if you are going for certification. By default, all outbound traffic is allowed, but you can restrict it based on your requirements. Okay. Now, best practices. A few best practices I have pointed out here. Only allow the minimum traffic necessary for your application. Okay, whatever is required, only allow that. Name your security group and rules in a descriptive manner to easily identify their purpose. For example, SG EC2 instance means this security group is created to handle for EC2 instances, for example. So it is a good practice that whenever you create, not only for security group but for all other resources also, that we give some meaningful names so that it is easy to identify later on. Regularly review and audit your security groups and rules to ensure that they align with your current security policies and requirements. And this actually falls in we have different audit teams. Sometimes they do that auditing, etc. So, but it's a good practice to review your security rules and policies, and remove any unused or redundant rules and security groups also. Okay, and there is a tagging feature which is available in almost all AWS services. Basically, that is good to categorize and manage your security, to categorize and manage your resources, AWS resources. So same for security group also, use tag feature so that the management is easy and effective. Tags can help in organize your security groups by environment. So for example, I have security groups created for production environment, staging environment, dev environment, or there are different owners also, different projects you are handling in the same account. So it is easy to manage then if you tag your resources. Restrict who can modify security groups by using IAM policies. So that is doable. And ensure that only authorized personnel can change to your network security setting. Yeah. Be cautious with overlapping rules and sources. Redundant or conflicting rules can lead to confusion and potential security. Likewise, I explained earlier, whenever we'll create security group, we need to have a clear understanding which ranges are allowed, not allowed, etc. We will create so many security group, and then we will end up with confusion, and sometime that confusion we might put wrong security group for the instances, and it might breach. We might have some security issues as well. We'll talk about it, what is VPC flow log, but just for the readout, enable VPC log flow logs to capture information about the IP traffic going to and from network interface in your VPC. Okay, we will talk about it, what is VPC flow logs. And that's it in this video. Thank you so much for watching.